I think this is the only important time to talk about Genshin Impact. The story is coming to a close, in my opinion, maybe EOS. Unless they somehow come up with a Genshin Shippuden or Genshin alternate universe to milk the cash cow of a gacha game, like they've always been doing with their other game titles. The gameplay is still downright horrendous compared to not just the current big names in the gacha space, and future big ones, namely Ananta, NTE, Silver Palace, and so many others, especially Wuthering Waves with it winning over a lot of Hoyo players with its better story and expansive gameplay. I don't want to pay too much attention to its flaws, but I do want to give it credit for lasting this long as a relevant name in the gacha space. The writing of the story and the lore is a lot better than the gameplay mechanics and overall quality of life. With the release of the God's Limits trailer, I feel like they're finally putting things into perspective. They're finally addressing at least some of the questions that the story and lore enjoyers have been wanting for quite a long time. And even then, it did take them this long to animate it and portray it in a storyboard form. As an ex-Genshin player, I'd rather feel rewarded than exhausted. And playing Genshin for around 2 to 3 years, I feel more of the latter. I think the only way to enjoy Genshin's story and lore is to play the limited time events, read its in-game books, or ultimately play the story content, but at the cost of not having a skip button. I understand why Hoyo never implemented a skip button though, because they want to prioritize its story more than its gameplay. With the recent releases of the Nod Cry trailers, the Jingliu lookalike named Skirk, and the 2D visualizations of the gods and rulers of time, space, life, and death, the story and lore enjoyers are finally being rewarded for their long-awaited content from Hoyoverse. This is actually big for people who pay attention to the story, or even those who have technically done everything in the game and have nothing else to do. The game is realistically and objectively being power crept, gameplay animation-wise, 3D and 2D animation-wise, and gameplay-wise. What I do, however, respect about Genshin Impact is its lull and captivating story, even if it's being told through an animation on YouTube. But sadly, for newcomers or those returning to the game, which I think would be very few, all of it is still being gatekept by a sad excuse of an open-world game with missing English voice lines, poor gameplay design, and Paimon. Just a few more years or even a little bit longer, and Genshin will conclude its mediocre era. Or maybe pop off. I don't know. Anyways, to me, I think the lore enjoyers are the only ones being rewarded nowadays, rather than any other type of player that plays Genshin, whether it be the free-to-play mint pickers or the whale of a damage enjoyer. Either way, this is just my 2 cents on the game state of Genshin Impact, and these are just 3 AM thoughts that I've been having, so whether you agree or disagree, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe for more gacha commentaries. I really do enjoy them. Stay safe, stay awesome, God bless, and have a good one.